LeBron James could be preparing for the most shocking move of his legendary career because the Philadelphia 76ers are no longer just dreaming about bringing him to Philly. They believe they can build a championship super team around LeBron, Tyrese Maxey, and Jalen Brown. After 24 years in the NBA, the King may be closer than ever to leaving everything behind and rewriting the final chapter of his career.
Who, LeBron? So you gotta tell LeBron, you gotta pull up. Pull up to Philly.
LeBron, pull up to Philly. Think about it. LeBron, Jalen Brown, PJ 13.
He's gone.
He's gone?
He's gone, bro.
He's gone?
But we start with our lead story. And stop me, guys, if you have heard this before. We are waiting on yet another LeBron James decision. The basketball world waits with bated breath to learn where he will play in year 24. And Philly remains a pretty intriguing destination. Sixers president Bob Myers was asked about what his pitch to LeBron would be. Here is what he said.
If he was here, I'd say, I honestly believe this is your best chance to win. You have to decide all the other things that are equally important. What I would just say is, if it's about winning, and that, let's talk about this team, because you can win here in Philadelphia.
Okay, so that is about as direct of a pitch, guys, as you are going to get. Bob Myers, who runs the Philadelphia 76ers organization, Vinny, giving that pitch to Max Kellerman, Rich Paul, LeBron's agent. So what do you hear, Wendy, when you hear Bob Myers, his words, the recruiting style? What is that telling you about Philly's process in trying to get LeBron?
Well, it's more about the entire LeBron process than anything, because this is how the 76ers are getting to talk to LeBron. That was on Rich Paul and Max Kellerman's podcast, but it was essentially a meeting with LeBron James. That's how you talk to LeBron in 2026. In 2010, he had 3 days of meetings where everybody came to an office building in Cleveland in $10,000 suits, and Jay-Z came to pitch him. In 2014, Dan Gilbert his jet was being tracked as he tried for a clandestine meeting in South Florida. In 2018, Magic Johnson stood on his driveway until free agency opened and then walked into his house in Los Angeles to make the pitch. Now you come on a podcast, and this is where we go as LeBron plays golf and works on his short game. So this is a demonstration of how the game has changed and how long the LeBron career and free agency processes have been. Yeah, and I think it's for a completely different reason. 16 years ago, the New York Knicks spent 2 seasons getting themselves into position where they could pitch LeBron James. He dismissed their pitch in a matter of minutes. And then now, because he's willing to play for essentially next to the league minimum, any team has the option to go get him. So it's a completely different situation. Back then, there were just really a couple of teams he was considering. Now he could consider 10 teams, as Rich Paul outlined on another recent podcast interview. I don't think he's actually considering 10 teams, but the idea is that somebody could get a player like LeBron's caliber for next to nothing in NBA dollars. And so while it is a repeating of LeBron being pitched, in some ways it's extraordinarily different and very unique. I'm not going to make that case because I don't necessarily know if it is the most attractive, because you're making a basketball case, and what LeBron has said is it's a happiness case. Can he be happy living in Philly? But I will say a big factor here is Tyrese Maxey. I know that so much of the focus is on Jalen Brown because that's how Philly got into this conversation. They traded for Jalen Brown last week. But the reason I think he's seriously looking at Philadelphia is because of Tyrese Maxey, and that connection is with Clutch Sports, his agency that he is, basically a founder of alongside Rich Paul. It's the Tyrese Maxey connection that draws him in. It's that was the same thing with Anthony Davis that got Anthony Davis to the Lakers, and the reason that LeBron would have interest in playing with Anthony Davis if he were traded to the Golden State Warriors in the coming days. And this is not just a Clutch Sports thing. All of the top level agencies will have their clients work together. But this is a Tyrese Maxey thing. You would really want Tyrese Maxey sitting next to Bob Myers making the pitch, and I'm sure he has.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part here, because I think once the Jalen Brown trade happened, we all thought that might have been the biggest selling point, but we can start connecting some dots here via agency and seeing what might be the best fit for LeBron James. Maybe it's in Philly. Maybe he will help them win their first world championship since 1983. Oh. Back here on Get Up, hard to believe. It's been 16 years since LeBron James made the decision, the one that saw him take his talents to South Beach, where he won his first 2 NBA titles. And all these years later, LeBron, once again, navigating his NBA future as he prepares for season number 24, during which he will turn 42 years old.
The thing that fascinates me the most about this is in 2010, LeBron was the best athlete in the game, arguably the best player. In 2014, we knew he was the best player. In 2018, he started to come down from that spot ever so slightly, but you knew he was the #1 free agent in the NBA. Free agency is dead, y'all. I don't know if y'all saw what the bigger transactions have been this summer. They've been trades. It's been about guys with 2 years left in their contract not returning to their teams because the teams don't want to pay them or they know that they're not going to sign the extension. The LeBron content factory is merely incredible. The fact that we are sitting here all these years later, and he is still the #1 free agent for whatever reason. The fact that he can fit in on so many teams, the fact that he's going to be a minimum player who can still give you max salary production on a given night.
LeBron James has shocked the basketball world before. But this time, the next decision could be the most unexpected move of his legendary career. After 24 seasons, after championships, records, and decades of dominance, the King may be closer than ever to leaving everything behind and starting one final championship chase in Philadelphia. Because the Philadelphia 76ers are no longer just watching from the sidelines. They believe they have a real argument, a championship contender, a superstar foundation, and a message directly aimed at LeBron James. If winning is what matters, Philadelphia is where you can win. The NBA has seen LeBron free agency drama before, but this time feels different. Because LeBron is no longer chasing money. He is chasing the perfect ending. And Philadelphia believes it can give him exactly that. But to understand why this move is even possible, we have to look back at how much LeBron James' free agency world has completely changed. 16 years ago, LeBron James created the biggest free agency event basketball had ever seen. In 2010, teams built entire plans around one meeting. The Knicks spent years preparing. Miami created a superstar vision. Cleveland fought to bring their hometown hero back. In 2018, Magic Johnson personally went to LeBron's home to deliver the Lakers' pitch. That was the old NBA. Private meetings, secret negotiations, massive presentations. But today, the game has changed. Now teams are sending their message through interviews, podcasts, and public conversations. And Philadelphia president Bob Myers delivered a message that sounded almost impossible to ignore. His pitch was simple. If LeBron wants to win, the 76ers believe they are the best option. No complicated strategy. No hidden message. Just a direct challenge. Come to Philadelphia and chase another championship. But the real reason Philadelphia has become dangerous in this race is not just the organization. It is the superstar combination they believe they can build around LeBron. At first, many people look at Jalen Brown as the biggest reason Philadelphia could attract LeBron. A proven star, a two-way player, a championship-level talent. But the hidden piece may actually be Tyrese Maxey. Maxey represents the future. Speed, energy, scoring ability. A player who could allow LeBron to control games without carrying every possession. And there is another connection that cannot be ignored. Maxey is represented by Clutch Sports, the same basketball network closely connected with LeBron James and Rich Paul. Throughout NBA history, relationships have helped create superstar partnerships. And Philadelphia believes this relationship could become another advantage. Imagine the pitch. Not just executives explaining basketball, but Maxey himself telling LeBron, "This is the place where we can win." Because at this stage of his career, LeBron is looking for more than talent. He wants trust. He wants comfort. He wants a real championship opportunity. And the biggest reason this dream scenario is possible comes down to one unbelievable reality. LeBron James may be the greatest value in basketball history. Years ago, only a few teams could realistically chase LeBron James. The price was enormous. The commitment was massive. But now, everything has changed. LeBron James could potentially join a contender without creating the same financial pressure that comes with a traditional superstar contract. A player approaching his 42nd birthday could still provide championship-level impact while giving teams incredible flexibility. That is what makes this situation historic. The NBA has never seen anything like this. A future Hall of Fame legend, still productive, still feared, still capable of changing a championship race, and possibly available to almost any serious contender. But LeBron's next move will not only be about basketball, because after everything he has achieved, the final decision will be about happiness. LeBron James does not need to prove anything anymore. 4 championships, 4 MVP awards, a career that changed generations. But the question remains, can Philadelphia give him one last unforgettable moment? Can LeBron James lead the 76ers to their first championship since 1983? Can the King create one final masterpiece before the curtain closes? Nobody knows. But one thing is undeniable. After more than 2 decades in the NBA, LeBron James is still the biggest story in basketball. The world is still waiting. The league is still watching. And if Philadelphia truly has a chance to bring the King to town, the NBA could be preparing for one of the biggest moves in modern basketball history. Because when LeBron James makes a decision, it is never just a decision. It becomes history.
Yo, mic check 1 to 2, -1, -2. Game over for this video, folks. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay in the huddle for more. This is NFL Madness, bringing the heat and signing out.